name is Ryan Hood, and welcome to my video presentation on how to use harm reduction techniques for IV drug use. First thing I would like to say is that the people at the SF AIDS Foundation are a IV drug user's best friend. They hook you up with all these supplies, everything you could ever need for using IV drugs in a reduced harm manner. They can also hook you up with food, grocery vouchers, resources for housing and homeless resources. If you have Hep C, they can hook you up with Hep C treatment. And if you are interested in methadone or Suboxone treatment, they can also help out with that. They're on 6th Street, and they are just the most awesome people, so hit them up. They also give out free glass pipes on Fridays. And the next thing I'd like to talk about is the risks of IV drug use. That's why we're here, is to reduce the potential of harm and to reduce the risks. Two biggest risks for IV drug use is spreading HIV and hepatitis C. Those are both bloodborne pathogens that sharing needles and dirty needles are the most common way that they are passed around here in the city of San Francisco. The other risks that are involved with IV drug use are overdoses. That's with both if you're using heroin and if you're using methamphetamine. There is fentanyl being mixed into each, and in fact, in the height of the COVID pandemic, you are twice as likely to die of a drug overdose than you were to die of COVID in the city of San Francisco. Other risks for IV drug use include getting abscesses, which are infections under the skin from not using a sterile technique that can eventually grow into a bloodborne infection that can kill you. So that's super dangerous. We want to keep it clean and keep you out of the hospital. Now let's go over all these supplies that the great people at SF AIDS Foundation donate to anyone who asks. We've got needles, very important there. They give you a tourniquet. They can hook you up with Narcan, super important. Never go anywhere without Narcan these days. They can hook you up with supplies for smoking and freebasing your drug. We won't get into that today. We've got your cotton balls. They'll give you this little baggie of crystally powder. Don't get too excited. It's vitamin C, which is super important to take before you go on an extended drug binge so that you can help keep yourself healthy. Also, it's important to eat and drink before you take your drugs. Got some hand sanitizers. We've got these sterile water ampules. Now, if you read close, it says right there, not for injection, but we're going to ignore that. This is the safest option we have for mixing our drugs. Now, when it comes to cooking the drugs, you see a lot of people will use just a lighter and a spoon. What I would suggest, actually, is to go ahead and use a candle. That way you don't have to worry about the lighter blowing out. This is much more stable. Instead of the spoon, they've got this nice little bottle cap, and they also give you these little twist ties. So what you're going to do is you're going to wrap that twist tie around your bottle cap, just like so. This gives you a much more stable platform for cooking your drugs than just a spoon and a lighter. See how nice and easy that goes? Alright, so next step, you're going to take your sterile water ampule, empty it in there. There we go. Then you're going to take whatever drugs you want, put it in there, mix it up, and go ahead and get that heated and cooked up. We're also going to take one of these cotton balls, and when we're done, we're going to drop it into the solution. That's super important. You're going to want to take your needle and put it into the cotton ball. That way you can filter out any weird, nasty stuff that may have been in that drug baggie. So you're stabbing the needle into the cotton ball, drawing the drugs, making sure to use a sterile needle, of course. And never recap a used needle, but this one, I haven't used it yet. Alright, getting the air bubbles out, so now we're all ready to go. You're going to want to clean yourself using the site you want, let's say the hand, from inside to out, wiping the dirt away. The way the alcohol works to kill germs is when it evaporates, so just got to let that air dry. And while that's happening, of course, your hot water here is cooling down. When you're ready to go, make sure you're doing this around friends so that people can catch you if you're overdose. Make sure you have your Narcan nearby. When you inject, go into the vein, only inject like a little bit, maybe say half or even a quarter of what you got. You don't want to inject it all at once, because what if it's stronger than you thought? You can always do more, you can never do less. So start slow. And as I said, never do this alone. Always have Narcan available. Do not share these needles. People at SF AIDS have plenty of these needles to go around. Use a clean, sterile needle every time. And if you have any other questions, I'm always here. Chat in the comments, or people at the SF AIDS Foundation. Go visit them. They're your best friends. They will hook you up. Thank you very much.